Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good evening to all of you. This is our tutorial 3, okay, on 20 of April 2023. So this is the interface or the overview of ITEL, okay, for our PT 20803 for section 6. If you can see from here, right? And then I need you to scroll down and look at the tutorial 3, okay? And you can find here a new set of data set for SPSS, okay, that I have uploaded for your further references. And also I have include as well its a set of questionnaire for the data set of SPSS here. All right, if you want to use this data set as your practices at home, it is advisable. If you want to use the data sets of SPSS that I have uploaded previously, also advisable for you to be used. Okay, either one. You want to use the previous one or you want to use the current one for your practices, also can. All right. So we just take a look the set of questionnaire and also the data set for this SPSS sample. All right, so this is the set of questionnaire that I have uploaded in ITEL for tutorial 3. It is about study of burnout and engagement in university students. So this is this questionnaire involved with several parts. If you can see from part A, it is about the demographic data and all the information, the relevant information needed is about the demographic data of the respondent. And then it divides into the second part, part B, okay, which is about the burnout data itself. Okay, the researcher wants to know about the burnout data itself among the university students. So you can see it is divided into several sections: social, burnout and engagement, and so on. All right. So this is a sample set of questionnaire. So where does this questionnaire come from? Which is questionnaire is a part or one of the instrument in your research study. Okay, you have a research study, and then you want to carry out or implement the research methodology. So you designed and you decide whether your study is qualitative or quantitative. Is if your study use quantitative, quantity means you want to use instrument that could cater with the quantity, which one of the instrument is questionnaire. So this is the sample of questionnaire. Questionnaire could be either you build or you develop by yourself, and if you develop by yourself, you need to make sure you should test it whether it is valid and reliable, or you can adapt and adopt from the previous study. Okay, so usually for undergraduate level, it is advisable to just adapt and adopt, or just adopt from the previous study. Okay, because it is well established questionnaire. If you want to develop the questionnaire, usually it is higher level study in the level of master's or PhD studies. All right, so it just information for you. All right, and then from this questionnaire, the data has been uploaded or has been transferred to the SPSS. right? So this is the interface for the variable view. As you can see, number 1 up until number 41 is all the variables that included in the questionnaire just now that I have shown to you. All right. So this is the variable view, the data view. Okay, so from the data view, you can see how many samples included in the questionnaire or in that study is, you see, 45. So about 45 respondents have responded to this questionnaire. And up here, this is all the variables that have been answered or have been responded. Okay. Now before we take a look on the analyzing of the objective, okay. Before that, if any one of you wants to use the previous data set of SPSS, you can do so. All right. If you want to use the new one, also can. Either one. Okay. So, before we further proceed with the analyzing the objective, we would like to take a look on the mean, mode, and median. All right. So what is the mean, mode, and median for this data set, or one of the variables? Okay, you have one variables, you want to know the mean. For example, here the age, right? One of the variables here, age, you want to know the mean, mode, median information from this variable. So how to do it? So first you need to click on Analyze here, and then you go to the Descriptive Statistics, and then you go to the Frequencies. All right, so the pop-up here, what you need to do is you need to choose the variable, one of the variable that you want to analyze the value of mean, mode, and median. So example just now, age, right? So you just insert to the variable a list, and then what you need to do, you click on the statistics, okay? And you click the mean, median, and mode, right? Because you want to know these three information. And then you just click continue, you click OK. So this is the output for the mean, mode, median for the variable age that we have inserted just now. But from here, okay, from here, you see the variable age, okay, the variable age, mean, median, mode, we have the value, but this output did not separate the gender between male and female. We don't know how many male and how many female. Can we do that? Yes, we can. Just minimize the output. And then you go to click Analyze. This one steps if you want to separate the gender. You want to get the same thing, mean, mode, and median for the age variable, but you want to separate the gender. Just now the gender is not separated, so you want to separate the gender. You click Analyze, and then you click Descriptive Statistics, and then you go to the Explore. Okay, so once you click the Explore, then the pop-up will come up. So on here, what we need to do is the same thing, variable age, okay? But this time, a variable age, you need to insert to the dependent list, okay? And what you need to separate just now is gender. So gender, you need to go to the factor list, right? So try to click statistics. Nothing to be click here. So just click continue. And then you click OK. All right. Okay, here. Explore, right? So you have the age, okay? Age variables. You have the age here, descriptive age variables. You have the mean for male, okay? For female, you have the mean, all right? So the mean for male and female already separated. The median also here, okay? The median, all right. So how about if we want to get the frequency? Okay, we already have the difference, the difference of mean, mode, median for the different gender, male and female, for the variable age. But how can we get the value for the frequency? Okay, so this one I just click close. If you want to save it, then you can save it. Okay, so for example here, I want to save it. I click yes, and then I name it. Okay, so I name it as mean, mode, median, mean, mode, median, variable age, separated gender. All right, so where do you want to save it? For me, I just save is there any other options? Maybe at the desktop. It's safe. All right. And then just now we want to get the frequency, right? Frequency, we have already the mean, mode, median, but we want to get the frequency. So we click Analyze, and then go to the Descriptive Statistics. And then again, we go to the Explore. All right. So the same things, age on the dependent list, gender on the factor list, but now you click plot, histogram, normality, plot with test. Okay, so you click continue, and then you click OK. And now you have the second output. Just the first one we have closed. Okay, we have closed and then we have saved. I will upload as well in the ITEL for the reference. Make sure you have already installed SPSS in your laptop. Otherwise, you will not able to view all the data, all the saved data in the SPSS. Okay, as I mentioned to you how to install, you just need to contact with JTMK. Okay, they will very helpful. They will help you as soon as possible. You text them. So for here, frequency is actually can be observed on the highest, okay, highest data in the histogram. Okay, so here for male histogram, gender male, this is the highest frequency. For female, this is the highest frequency. So just now we can take a look on the mean mode median for the variable age. And if we want to separate between the gender male and female, then we need to further explore. Okay, click on the explore, and then lastly, you want to know the frequency. For example, you want to know the frequency, then you need to click on the histogram. So you know that the highest frequency in the histogram is your frequency for different gender, male and female. All right. So same goes to this output you just saved, and it depends on you. You want to name it, how to name it. We can see variable var variable age. Okay. Different gender. Just this one lah. Okay. So gender, the variable age, gender. Just save it. All right. We have to take a look at the mean mode median. Now we try to look at the analysis of the objective. Okay. First we try to analyze the demographic of normality chart. Okay. Usually in the thesis or in your undergraduate thesis, in chapter 4, which is under results and findings, we have the demographic background. Okay, the this explanation about the demographic background of the respondents. Okay, we have one section under chapter 4. So in order to get or to obtain the data for the demographic background, okay, because even in your questionnaire you have the demographic data, right? So you need to analyze that one. So click analyze. Okay, you go to the descriptive statistics, and then you go to the frequencies. All right, so as usual, there will be pop-up. So from this pop-up, you try to copy all the construct variables, not the computed one, the construct variables. So we try to take a look on the demographic data, paper ID, gender, program, semester, CGA. Okay. You can even do one by one if you want to. Okay, you can do one by one if you want to. So I just want to look at all the demographic data for all variables under demographic, and then you just click on chart. No need. Just click OK. Okay, so we have the output here, right? So this is the overall age, paper, blah, blah, blah. So under frequency table, you have each of the variables. For age, for the paper ID, the age, the paper ID, all the variables is come from the questionnaire. Which questionnaire? The questionnaire that I have shown to you just now. Okay, so this is all the variables that under the demographic data: age, paper ID, gender, program, semester, CGA, all the variables. So for all of these variables, okay, you have the frequency and the percent here. If you realize, we have the frequency and percent here. So these two is usually reported in the thesis. Okay, you try to build new table in the Microsoft Words, and then you insert the value for the frequency and percent for the variables under the demographic data. Okay, and then you need to report it, not only in the form of table, you need to report in the form of sentences in the paragraph. Okay, so you need to report it, how many frequencies, how many percent of um, respondents in terms of age variable, paper ID, and so on. Okay, you need to report it. So this is how you analyze the demographic data. Okay, look at the frequency and also the percent. All right. So this one close, saved as analyze demographic. So you look at the frequency and percent. Saved. All right. So usually, not only we need to analyze the frequency and also percent. Some of the researchers, they like to use chart, pie chart, bar chart to visualize their data. Okay, so how they do it? They click analyze. Okay, go to the descriptive statistics and then frequencies. All right, and then we try to select all the inserted variables here, put it back, and then what we need to do this time is not taking into the constructed, but you need to take the one that has been computed. Okay, before I take the computed data, okay, let me cross first just to show to you. Okay, the first list of question under exhaustion. Okay, how do I know? I refer to the questionnaire that I have given to you. This one, exhaust 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, has been computed, and the mean for the exhaustion is recorded here. How do we do it? We have learned before how to compute. If you remember, you need to click transform and then you compute your variables, right? Once you have computed, then you get the mean of the exhaustion. Okay, it depends on you on how to name the variable here. You want to use mean exhaustion, can you just write exhaustion? Also can, right? But now I just want to introduce to you that this is all the computed data: exhaustion, burnout engagement, professional efficiency until absorption. Okay, this is all the computed data. So what are we discussing just now? We want to build maybe histogram, maybe a pie chart for your demographic data. So just now you click analyze descriptive statistics, you go to the frequencies. Okay, so again, you take back all the variables here into their place, and then you try to search for the computed data. For example, you take exhaustion. Okay, in the previous sample set data for SPSS, the first computed data is spiritual, if you still remember. So for those students who used the previous sample set data for SPSS, you can choose spiritual for your first computed data. For this data, you use exhaustion. All right, so you click on exhaustion, you put in the variable, okay, variable list. Now, what we need to do is you click on chart because you want to visualize it. Okay, so you use or you click on whatever you want. For example, you want histogram. Okay, for example, you want histogram here, or you want pie chart, or you want bar chart. We take a look on histogram first. So we try to click continue, and then we click OK. All right. So this is your histogram. Okay, histogram for the age. Is it? I don't know. For the exhaustion. Okay, for the exhaustion computed variable. What if you want to take a look on a pie chart, for example? So the same things, click Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and Frequency. The same variable, chart. For example, you want to see the pie chart because um, some of them use pie chart, use bar chart, right? So frequencies. This one, it depends on you. You want to take a look on the frequencies or you want to take a look on the percentage. Okay. So you click either one, continue. Okay. So this is your pie chart. Okay. Usually, sometimes researcher, they would like to put the figures, the visual part, so then to enhance the reader's reading. All right. So sometimes they put the percentage here, how many percentage, for example 35, and then they write 35%, this one 5%, and so on. Okay, and then they label all the different color here. Okay, they label what this one refer to, this one refer to. Okay, so you can take it, copy and paste in your thesis. Okay, if needed. All right, so you close this one. Save content. This one is analyze. Guys, Instagram. Check. Save. All right. We have to take a look on how to analyze the demographic data. Now, if you have two objective. Okay, the first one, you just want to take a look on the descriptive analysis. Mungkin tahap. Okay. The second one, for example, you want to take a look on inference objective, which is differences, the perbezaan. Okay, for example. So we try to analyze for the first objective first, okay, which is the descriptive analysis. So try to click on Analyze, go to the descriptive statistics, and then you go to the descriptive route. All right. So the same things pop out. Okay. So in this pop-up, you insert the computed data one by one. Okay. Insert the computed data one by one. For example, the first one is exhaustion, right? And then you click option. You have clicked the mean. You have clicked the standard deviation, minimum, maximum. Okay. Continue. And then, okay. All right. So you have the descriptive statistics here and the value mean here. We focus on the value mean here. All right. So this is the computed meaning that you have all the construct data that has been computed and you take a look at the mean. Okay, what if we want to know? Okay, what if we want to know each of mean for the constructed data? So how to do? You go back to the Analyze, descriptive statistics. You go to the descriptive. You put back here and you try to take the constructed, okay, constructed data, exhaustion 1, exhaust 2, exhaust 3, exhaust 4, exhaust 5, you insert. All right. So the same thing, you look at the option, all needed data has been clicked, continue, and then okay. So you have the mean and the standard deviation, okay, for each of the construct data for exhaustion. All right. So you take a look the mean. Okay. We take a look the mean. You need to observe the lowest and the highest mean. Okay. Usually in your thesis under chapter 4, because we are right now we are analyzing the data. Analyze the data is under chapter 4. Chapter 3 is methodology. Chapter 2 is literature review. Chapter 1 is introduction, right? So under chapter 4 is all about the analyze of data. So that's why I told you that all of these need to be under chapter 4. So in order for you to report, okay, to report for example, the first variable, the first computed variable, which is exhaustion, you want to take a look about exhaustion because your study is about the burnout. Okay, the first part, the first subsection that you want to know is about the exhaustion of the university students. Okay, so that's why we need to know the mean, the purata. Okay, purata for what? The mean for the exhaustion. Okay, either you want to take a look the computed one here 2.96, or you want to take a look each, okay, each of the constructed data. Okay, for example, this one you need to report in your thesis, mean and standard deviation, okay, for the constructed data, you need to report in your thesis. Okay, so you need to make a comparison lah. Which one is lowest and which one is highest. So here, the lowest is 2.6868 here for exhaustion number 4. So from the question A, the number 4 is about studying or attending class is really a strain for me. Okay, so you need to report how many the value for the mean for this construct data, how much? Just now is to about 2.68, right? The lowest with the standard deviation of 1.25. So you need to give the reason. Okay, you need to give the reason why the mean for studying or attending a class is really a strain for me is the lowest. Why? So you need to give an explanation. After you give an explanation for the value, the lowest value, and then you need to insert supported statement. Who are or who will support your statement? You saying that student do not prefer uh, the statement of studying or attending class is a strain for me. Because of why? Because they enjoy the process, maybe. Okay, they enjoy the process because they can meet their friends and that way can hype them up, blah blah blah, and etc. And then you need to come up with a supported statement. Who will support your statement? For example, Ali 2020 support your statement by etc etc etc. Okay, same goes to the higher value of mean. For example, okay, the highest value, you have two highest value, 3.177. Okay, between exhaustion number 3 and exhaustion number 5. So exhaustion number 3, they said I feel tired, meaning meaning majority of them choose 3 and 5. They say they feel tired when they get up in the morning and they need to face another day at the university. And the second one that is highest value of mean, they feel burnt out from their studies. So from these two, you need to explain as well why they prefer that one, why they prefer these two. Okay, and after you explain, you need to have a supported statement. Who support your statement? Okay, who support your statement? Even sometimes you do not surprise, you will get um contrast statement from the previous study or previous researchers. Okay, maybe the previous study they reported that students feel burnt out in their study is the least mean. Okay, is the least mean that they get, and you need to read why they are saying that. So this is the analytical skill that you have. You analyze your data and you try to analyze the literature study as well. Okay, this is analytical skill. All right, but you cannot simply just report and then done. No, you need to report your value for your mean, your data, and then you need to explain why, and you need to have a supported statement to what you have saying. Okay, you need to have a supported statement. What is meant by supported statement is that you need to find literature study or previous study or study from other researchers that relate with your topic. Okay, What are they saying? Are they agree with your statement? Did they against with your statement? If yes, why? If no, why? You need to explain. Okay, that is analytical skills that you need to have lah. All right. So we have done with that analysis objective. Try to take a look for the second statement, burnout and engagement. Okay, try to take a look. So this one can we save it? Yeah, you can save it. Yes. So this is analyze. Okay, analyze descriptive. We just yeah, analyze descriptive for exhaustion. Exhaustion. Okay. Exhaustion objective. All right. We try to analyze again descriptive statistics. We go to the descriptive. All right. We take back all the variable field. Okay, we try to have a computed data for the burnout and engagement. Okay, we have this mean. Okay, mean and standard deviation for the computed data of burnout and engagement. Okay, so this is overall the computed one. All right. So what if we want to take a look each of the construct data? So try analyze descriptive statistics, descriptive again. Okay, take back. So try to take the construct data for burnout. Burnout, stress 1, stress 2, stress 3, stress 4. So up until 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Okay, so click OK. So you have your result here. So this is the mean, okay? Mean and standard deviation for each of the construct data for burnout and engagement, okay? So again, you need to compare the lowest and the highest value of mean for the construct data of burnout and engagement. So what is the lowest? The lowest here is 2.73. 2.73 with the standard deviation of 1.69. So this is for construct number 3. So please again refer to your questionnaire. Your questionnaire, not your questionnaire, the sample of questionnaire that have been given in the ITEL. So number 3, the lowest mean, right? So the lowest mean here is the statement, I have become more cynical about the potential usefulness of my studies. So you need to explain why this is the lowest. Okay, the lowest mean that has been recorded. Why? And you need to have supported statement from the previous study. So again, same goes to the highest mean. Which one is the highest mean? 3.37. How can I decide which one is highest and which one is lowest? Logically, if you look at the value, you know straightly which one is highest and which one is lowest. If you compare the the mean value among the same construct data, you cannot compare the mean value for the different construct data. You need to have the same construct data, meaning burnout and engagement. So the construct data for the burnout and engagement only. Okay, cannot with the exhaustion. So here the highest is 3.37. The first statement. What is the first statement? The first statement you refer to the questionnaire, which is the statement is I have become less interested in my studies since my enrollment at the university. So you need to explain why they have less interested, why the mean value is the highest for this statement. Okay. So after you explain why the mean value is highest at this statement, and then again come up with a supported statement from the previous study. All right. So that's why you need to do the literature study in your chapter 2. All right. Because you need to have a lot of references. So I think you can do by yourself for the next computed data for professional efficacy up until absorption. The same step, just the same step. Okay. So in this tutorial class, we are trying to use SPSS to analyze the data. Okay. And how to explain in your thesis. I just give a brief overview, okay, because I'm not sure what is your your real study. Okay. So it depends on your study lah. You want to use which one. Then we have done with the analysis of descriptive, objective descriptive. Now we go to the analysis objective for inference. Okay, if you have differences, okay, you want to test the differences, perbezaan. So you have to use whether t-test or one-way ANOVA. Usually, if you use t-test, okay, you need to have at most two variable, independent variable, and make sure your data is normal lah. Okay, because we are aware that if our data is normal, we need to use parametric tests. The parametric test included t-test and one-way ANOVA. Okay, for one-way ANOVA, you need to have at most 3 independent variable. But usually up until undergraduate level, we are using t-test for our study because we have at most 2 independent variable. Okay. But still you need to learn about one-way ANOVA. So right now, we close this out first. Okay. In order for us to analyze the objective of inference, if we have the difference in our independent variable, we want to identify the difference, okay, the difference between the research variable and the demography. Okay, research variable and the demography. You need to click analyze. Compare means. You find here compare means. All right. Okay, look at here. You have independent sample t-test, right? Independent sample t-test. You have one-way ANOVA. You click on independent sample t-test. Okay, you just imagine that you your data is normal. You need to use parametric test. and then you have at most 2 independent variable. So you click independent sample t-test, you have pop out. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to choose the computed variable. The computed variable. If you still remember what is your computed variable is starting from here, exhaustion, burnout and engagement up until absorption. This is the one that has been computed. So for example, we choose the first computed variable, okay, exhaustion, you put under test, you put under test variable. And then you want to take a look with the demographic data. So for example, which one that we want to take a look? We find level. For example, we want to take a look gender lah. Gender grouping variable. Okay. Gender under grouping variable. And you can see here, there's a question mark. 2 question mark. So you need to click define group. So define group here. From the SPSS sample set data, we have 2 gender, male and female, and we have specified the value for male is 1, for female is 2. So group 1, 1, group 2 is 2. So SPSS will read that group 1 is male, group 2 is female. So continue. Okay, once you click continue, then you click OK. So as usual, there will be output for the t-test, independent sample t-test. Okay, here, independent sample t-test under Levin's test for equality of variance. Okay, take a look at the significant value. Significant value for two-tail. Two-tail here, two side. Two-tail, two side. If the significant value is higher than alpha, the alpha value is 0.05. If the two-tail significant value higher than alpha value, which is 0.05, the null hypothesis will be accepted. Okay, I would like to mention that we should have 2 hypotheses. Okay, one we call it as null hypothesis, HO. Another one we call it as alternative hypothesis, H1. Okay, usually for null hypothesis, we want to take a look at the significant difference, right? So null hypothesis, there is no significant difference between, this is what? Exhaustion. Okay. There is no significant difference between exhaustions. There is no significant difference of exhaustion between male and female. Okay, so tidak ada perbezaan, okay, untuk variable exhaustion antara lelaki dan perempuan. Okay, for alternative hypothesis, there is a significant difference, okay, of exhaustion between male and female. So we want to decide whether we need to accept or reject the null hypothesis is depending on the two-tail significance value. So your value here is 0.07 and 0.71 and 0.70. Okay, both of them are higher than alpha value, which is 0.05. So when our significance two-tail value is higher than alpha, meaning we need to accept the null hypothesis. What is null hypothesis? No significant difference, meaning keletihan exhaustion antara lelaki dan perempuan tiada beza. Sama saja. Alright? So there is no significant difference, okay, of exhaustion between male and female. Alright. So same goes to other demographic data. If you want to test, for example, exhaustion between what we have, exhaustion between program, you can see the what we call the significant difference between the program. Or you want to take a look exhaustion for the demographic data semester. You can do it. All right, and then you can see if there is any, okay, there is any significant difference. Okay, for example, just now our value for two-tail is more than 0.05. That's why we need to accept the null hypothesis. If, okay, if the significant value for two-tail is lower than alpha value or is lower than 0.05, the null hypothesis should be rejected. What is meant by null hypothesis is rejected, meaning there is significant difference because we have accepted the alternative hypothesis. So there is a significant difference of of exhaustion between male and female. All right. So that is how, okay, that is how we interpret from the t-test output. Okay. So I think up until here, we will take a look further in our next class, maybe on one-way ANOVA. Okay, let's see how next week. So thank you, class. Assalamualaikum and have a good day to all of you.